Okay, so here we are. This should be running. If all goes well. I do need to set the musics up. So, just go on here. This should be working with the audio levels and stuff. I am at least on time. And as it's showing, we have this. Get back to the live streaming tab. So everything shows up. Looks to be healthy enough. And we should be able to get started going. So the wheel we've got, it says rigged, but I had to crop that out unfortunately for space constraints. Unlike the wheel of names, this doesn't remove one when you're done, so yeah, that was what I used for a thumbnail. And the more you know, I guess. So we've got large, medium, and small are going to be the sizes we're going to use for the body type. We also have all these bodies. I believe I've got every basis covered, so high performance sport, as well as I don't know, there's coupe. I guess I would put sport because I've not explicitly put sport. I've put coupe. I just put all the default ones in automation in, so might as well have sport and high performance sport to imply perhaps some more mid-engine varieties of such types of car. Let's see what it gives me. Oh, we've got an SUV again. Well, it said SUV or truck before on the test model before last episode. But for now, we have an SUV. Now, the other thing, because if we get small, we can technically build a crossover. And I guess it's not that much of an SUV, but still, let's see. Okay, a medium SUV. At least this does give me that one advantage that if we are using a what do you call it, leaf springs on the front due to the wheels choosing, then we are going to be fine. So is it medium SUV? So we can remove that for now. Let's see, body type, it has it sorted here. So we've got all these. SUV is what we will have selected. So there we go. Now we're going to want something fairly mid-size. So 3.0. That looks more like an estate, to be honest, but that is or estate or wagon, same basic idea. Got to move something here, actually, because the mouse is kind of obstructed, and I do not like that. There we go. Now that moves a little better. So we've got the, yeah, that's large, 3.8, that's pretty much a limousine. We're going to want mid-size, as I believe it had it there, but I've removed the wheel for now. 3.4. There's a few different bodies with different variants, so what I'm thinking, I might try an older body style depending on what there is. So 2.3 I'd regard as small. I'd say about 2.7 like that is probably the right size. Can you get a larger version of that? Yeah, but I'd say we're looking about 2.7, 2.8. So if we can get a smaller one of it, I believe this is a Range Rover. This looks fairly mid-sized, 2.74 length. So, you know, this looks like a decent starting point. What year is it? I think it's a P38. Yeah, 1988. That would fall into line to be a Range Rover P38 in terms of overall design and stuff. So, I've gone with steel. We do need the wheel to decide this. I have tried to reproportion it so it's less in the way than it was last time I did this. Now, we're going to just have a bunch of numbers here. So we'll go 1, because this is the easiest way I can do it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe. I'll just check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 7 options in total. And that would lead us to believe there is 7. One of 7 we can choose. This can go brilliantly or terribly. I don't hate the SUV body. It shows a pickup truck, but I can change that later. So we've got 6. Ooh, fancy partial carbon fibre. I mean, it's not full out carbon fibre, but you would not expect this for an SUV. I mean, maybe we'll be ending up building a drift truck of sorts, although, as I say, an SUV and not a truck. Things are starting to get quite interesting. So we've got only 6 options for this next one. We'll sort that out. Yeah, it's more convenient when I don't have to re-enter the numbers, that's for sure. And I would say quicker. 6 and 1 are the same colour. That's a little confusing, but it works. So we've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Semi-space frame. We had that before. I fear it's just going to give me a mid-engine V10 for a third time. But no less, semi-space frame on a pickup truck body. This actually, yes, the body is a little unconventional. I say pickup truck, it's supposed to be an SUV, and I will fix that. But for what it is, it's mid-size as well, so we're not looking at a tiny car. I mean, this could end up being pretty good, almost like a silhouette racer if it turns out like that. So we've got front transversal, front longitudinal. There was a one we did use before, and it supported mid-engine despite being an SUV or truck body. So I feel like we should do that. If we can go, we're on body type, we've locked that. So engine positioning. Are there any of these that support mid and rear despite being SUVs? There's this one, which we do not have any really small or mid-sized versions of. That's 2.85 at smallest. 2.85. Some of these do fall into the right kind of category, though. That looks like more of a coupe SUV, but I could make it work, because it still falls into the overall SUV category, if it is like one of the more coupe styles. I don't personally understand the appeal of them, but if it works, it works. You know, I'm thinking that's 2.6. If we could go with a slightly larger version, there's a 2.8 one there-ish, 2.75. I think I'm quite liking this. I will change if I need to, but this is looking like it falls quite nicely. Can I get a smaller one of these? Wow, there's a lot of different versions of that. But yeah, I'm going to try this. It's a little more modern, but I think at 2.79 it falls quite nicely into the mid-size category. Is that really an SUV though? Like that's where you have to think. Do you draw the line here? Because is that actually an SUV or is it a estate? I think personally, I think there's a bit more bulk to the bodywork, which is probably the definition of an SUV typically in the modern age. Is there a bit more height to it? And I think there is. So I'm gonna permit this. It's not super low to the ground, so it should be workable. And we don't have mid-engine. I think that's a restriction given to us by the semi-space frame. But we do have rear longitudinal, so it gives us a bit more options in the way of what we can include. The bit weight is lower than recommended, yes. I understand that, but it's at least working. So we'll go 1 of 3. If it chooses front-engined, I can change the body back to another one, but I just like having the options. And we have got 1. Front transverse. This is interesting. We could have a front-wheel drive SUV type thing, which is, I guess, technically a crossover, but that means we could have front-wheel drive and it could work. Certainly, it's more interesting than being mid-engined, which I'm actually not able to go with in this case, like I was before. So that's a thing. We've got McPherson struts and double wishbone. Have I brought the wheel? Yeah, I've brought the wheel up. It's had up for a while and I just haven't realised apparently. So 1 or 2. Are we going to go struts? You know what? I'll take it. This is actually not bad because it's not going to give me leaf springs on the front as well with how this car is set up. Granted, maybe it's the body. Maybe the body is not allowing certain drive lines and stuff. Although it does apparently support mid-engined. If I just go... Oh, okay. So we want a mid-engine support. I'm going to have to re-spin these, but I've caught it early on enough, I think. So we've got 09. This is slightly on the larger side. This is the best I can do, though, I think, while still kind of being an SUV and not being massive. It kind of falls into that mid-size camp, so I'm going to give it a try. And the other one, well, that's not even SUV. I guess there is SUV versions of it, but that one is not an SUV. I could use it though. I mean, it's smallish, and it supports the mid-engine layout. Does this support rear-engined? No, it doesn't seem to support rear-engined. Now, this is it. Like, you're not typically going to have a middle rear-engine SUV, but I think 2.8 is probably about mid-size, so I'm struggling now, but I want to give the wheel more choice. Okay, here, this body here has all of the options. So if we can just check that there. Do we have an SUV kind of body? Yes, we do. It definitely looks like more of a compactor kind of gawky, for lack of a better word, body style, but I was considered a crash then. But yeah, this is what I would call a smaller SUV. Granted, I was going for mid-size. I don't know, like, I was going for mid-size, so maybe I want to go a little larger. They do have different sizes, but then it's 2.8. I think it just looks smaller than it is. Because that is not as tiny as you would think. There are smaller options. Anyway, we do have pretty much all of the options here that we could need. So we're going to do another spin to try and re-choose the driveline and stuff. There should be 5. Because I made a dumb mistake, but we have found a body that supports pretty much anything. And we're going with 1 again. It hasn't changed its mind, it's still front transverse. I don't mind that though, I don't mind front transverse. At this point, I could give it... I think I'll just keep that layout then. I'm not going to re-roll for suspension because it stayed pretty much the same, so I'm going to honour that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think because it's transverse is why I can't go with leaf springs on the front, so kind of the transverse layout saved me there. I'm not going to complain too much. We're also getting front wheel drive or all wheel drive. I can't say that's a particularly bad option, so we don't want to delete all the options. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 options. Let's see. So despite some dumb mistakes on my part, now I would say it started being cruel by telling me to go with leaf springs on the back, but overall we've got a decent setup. Leaf springs on the back is far from the worst it could do. Like, this thing could potentially still handle. I mean, it might bounce a little, but I think we could still have a good handling car here, especially if it ends up being a bit like a rally car like it did before. Or maybe a road-going rally car, then the extra height of leaf springs will not go amiss. So, with the body, we're going to have to go with some kind of the SUV body. I think it's going to take a bit of time to shift, but yeah, that's a 2-door. For a mid-size SUV, I know it doesn't look mid-size, but we're going to need the extra doors. I don't think it can qualify as being mid-size if it doesn't even have these doors. It looks tiny. I think it's just a very tall car, essentially based on a Mercedes C-Class. And it's the best I could do for engine options and such. Given it's front-wheel drive and it's got this suspension configuration, though, I could change the body. I just had to be forgiving if it wanted a mid-engined or whatever, so I chose this body for that reason. We do have a random colour wheel as well, so this should generate me a colour I can use. Ooh. So does it have that? I mean, I don't know if I can copy this colour code. If I can, I'm going to use it. So, can we go... There's HSV and RGB. I don't know. I don't think I can enter a colour code. What's world space texture? If it makes it look fancier, I could do it. I have a pretty powerful system, so... I think it looks a little nicer personally with world space, but it doesn't really make a difference. I think it might be to do with reflections. Scales with object, maybe. I'm not really noticing a difference. I think scales with object. Probably don't want that. Anyway, I don't know. So there's a hex code here. That might be it. I'm still new to copying colour codes and stuff, but we should be able to go copy that, as you can see. Oh, yes, it's worked. I didn't know you could do that. You can't see the whole car because of a colour selector, but we've got that. And we can copy it across. I like that. I mean, I can't really tell it to give me shine or whatever, but I can always treat that later. So we're going to also go with an accent colour. No, not there. We're going to go with an accent colour, I feel, to go with the main colour. So we'll go with trim. There's a roof somewhere. If we go with... yeah, that's where we'll start with the second colour. I can always rearrange this separately. Let's generate a new colour. Ooh, blue and green. This might work. So we're going to have a combination of blue and green. AMD and Intel working together at long last. You know what? I don't hate AMD though. They made the Athlon X2 and that was a good chip. The Athlon 64X2, that was a very good chip back in the day. That was what kind of led to the Core 2 Duo. Intel had to make something better than the Pentium D. The Pentium D was really just a rush job though, to compete with what AMD had at the time and get a dual core out early on. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to sort this colour. For now, I think I'll just make it all the green, but I have the blue there ready to add, to adjust in some way, and I think they can work together. Blue and green, blue and green are two of the main colours on an LCD display, or even CRT. There's red, green and blue, and that's two of them. So I think we can make it work, have quite a nice, vibrant car. As I say, I don't know how it's going to work out exactly, and we can go into the design better when I'm sure of the body I need. Now, okay, we've got transverse. It hasn't been decided for certain. I'm on the wrong wheel, aren't I? Hasn't been decided for certain if we have this. Now, 4 of those options, or 5 even, involve being some kind of all-driven wheel option. Try not to confuse 4x4 and all-wheel drive, but they involve all wheels being driven, and the first one does not. So let's see. Oh, we've barely got front-wheel drive. I don't hate it, though. Here's the thing. I don't hate this being front-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive can work very well. I guess it's not going to complement the leaf springs because we want this to have as much traction as possible. But I feel like this is going to work. I'll make a new engine family. There we go. Because it has to be a wheel option. I mean, I may just make the engines called wheel engines. Before it gave me a carburetted 4-litre V10 made just under 300 horsepower, so it was not a power monster, but it was a pretty solid overall engine, naturally aspirated. So which one of these? We got 4 options. We've got 4 options. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's spin this. Let's see what it gives us. We've got number 2. So we've got a 60-degree V engine. This is actually turning out very logically. The only thing that I would say is perhaps less logical is the rear leaf springs. I just have to check back because I'm sure it said the second option. Oh, you have been cruel, automation. You should have put solid axle coil second. Solid axle coil is generally a better technology than leafs. Not all the time, but generally that's the better option. So why on earth have you arranged it that way? It's almost as if you're trying to mess up an otherwise good car. I'm pretty sure that's not the case, so imagine if it gives me a V12 in all of this and just throws some insanity into the mix. I had to speak, didn't I? No less. It's going to have to be a smaller V12, but I quite like how mad this is going. Before it was quite logical, mid-mounted V10 of a fair size, and then we have this. A front-mounted V12. Now, I'm going to have to just throw a part on the engine block material. It really depends how this is going to fit. Actually, it fits a V12 quite well. This is a 6-litre V12, and it's somehow fitting, probably thanks to McPherson's struts in a way, so maybe there is some method to the madness. We've got, yeah, we're going to have to choose the engine block material, so I think there's 7 options here. I believe there is 7. So it doesn't hurt to try. Wait, sorry, the YouTube chat isn't working. It came up on avatars, but I have to redo that because I don't know what's going on here. I'll try refreshing the page. It should come back in a moment. There we go. Hopefully this is going to work. Yeah. I mean, for some reason YouTube isn't showing it up, but it showed up on the stream avatars. I don't want to put that drawing on the hood, honestly, because I like my cars to be somewhat sensible. I mean, it looks less insane than it could, I'll be honest. But the V12, I did build another car anyway for all it's worth. I did build another car. That was last time I did a stream here, and it was interesting. It made a kind of classic rally car, and I used a more modern body than I really should have. But this, I don't know what form it's going to take, because before it was kind of a rally car. This is like a weird front-wheel drive supercar. So I think we'll go with engine size next anyway, after this. We've got to choose the engine block material. I mean, I really don't know what was going on with YouTube. I don't know if it's going to show comments now or what. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aluminium billet. I will take that. That is not too bad. So if I just check. I need to check something. What was it? Oh, yes. See if my bot thing answers, because if it doesn't answer, then I know it's kind of acting in isolation and doing nothing. Engine size as well. If this, I think it'll fit a 7 litre, so we'll go up to let's say the size it has to be above. We'll use it has to be above this number of litres. Has to be above 2 litres, but presumably under 3. So, I mean, I'll take it. A tiny V12. What are you cooking, wheel? Just try and make it square, because at this point, why not? No kidding though, I feel like this will be fun to drive. Because I will be driving it, so... yeah. Okay, so the bot is working. Chat is probably working now. I can't say for sure, but... no idea what was going on, because it wasn't giving me an error or anything. So we want it to be under 3 litres. So just with a square engine, 2990. We've got billet aluminium. So far, it was nice. Before, though, it gave me, like, heavy-duty cast iron, I think, for the crankshaft, which was weirdly low end. So that's a thing. We've got to go with... so we've got 4 options here. Gonna get the wheel, no. We're gonna get the wheel to decide which one of the 4 options. Number 2, okay. Direct acting overhead cam. 2 valve per cylinder. This could be a lot worse. We do at least have a great number of cylinders to spread that across. So airflow shouldn't be as bad as it perhaps could be. We've got Iron Eco. Let's hope it doesn't give us that. I think there's 7 options here, so we'll add 5, 6, 7 to the wheel. See how this goes. 3, I think iron performed. Okay, now it started being weird. At least, one thing I can say, it's at least given me the performance version of iron, not the low performance, like, economy-based version. So I think we can still get performance, as weird as it is having the heavier material at the top of the engine. I think this is going to work. I mean, I don't think that's going to affect the RPM as much either as the minimum, like, base end of the block. So as weird as it is having, like, a 1960s, 1970s top end on an otherwise kind of advanced engine, I think it's going to work. So we've got, might even be 1950s top end, to be honest, with how it's set up. If we're talking higher end stuff and not, like, economy cars. So we've got... I think this is Gran Turismo music. I don't know. So we've got 7 options here as well. Let's see which one it gives us. Oh, we've got 4. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got forged steel. Okay, I'll take that. It's not a lightweight or a heavyweight technology. It's actually pretty good balanced forged. Could do a lot worse than that. So we've got... what do you call it? This. We've got 7 more options. Let's see. Please don't be cruel, wheel. Ooh, are we getting 3? Are we getting 3? Yes. 3 is cast light. I would say I shouldn't be celebrating. Look, at least Cast Light is going to have some high RPM performance. My head instinctively thinks higher number mean better. Higher number in this case is not a better option. But at least Cast Light, as much as it is Cast Iron, does mean we are going to get some high RPM performance, especially combined with the fact it's a tiny V12, and we've got 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Forged, I'll take it. The Conrads are going to be a little weak for high-end torque, but I don't think on this engine torque is really going to be an issue. And then we've got counterweight and harmonic damper, so I'll have 1 or 2 here. Let's see what it gives us. We've got 2 and 1. Okay, 2. This might make up a little for the cast iron Conrads. I mean, sometimes the weird thing is, despite being completely random, the wheel does sometimes make good decisions. And I would say, in the grand scheme of things, this engine is pretty well configured. The only thing, if I had to complain, would be the direct acting overhead cam. Iron performance is not the best header, but it should have some performance to it, if a little heavier, so I can't complain too much about that. Yeah, this wheel is not being so bad. Although, I am using a different wheel, so, you know, the previous wheel did like the number 1. I noticed that. Maybe this one's different, so do we have VVT or not? Let's see. Before it gave us standard VVT, but there weren't much options. Okay, I'll accept no VVT. It seems like it's trying to build some kind of retro performance engine, though. And I'm not sure I hate it. So we've got 3 options now for the VVL. We are at the mercy for pretty much every attribute of this engine. Yeah, I think it's because I said the other wheel liked 1. This has also decided it likes 1. Although, VVT and VVL are 2 things I can accept not having loads of technology for. It can still perform well without those features. Okay, so we've got options here. Like, most of them are turbo, but we've got 4 options. We've got turbo, supercharger, twin charge, and naturally aspirated. That's what I'll split into. And then if it chooses turbo, I'll further filter it through there. 1. Look, why are you it's chosen 1 3 times in a row. What are you on about doing with this? I don't hate it. It's a very classic style of engine, despite the, high-end aluminium block. If I could paint this block, and I think I can, I'll probably make it so, because it will actually somewhat balance out the overall look of aluminium and cast iron, so it doesn't look quite so iffy as it does now. Okay, so carburetor or injection, is it going to be nice? It's given me like 2 builds before with carburetors. So, you know, 1 on stream, 1 off. Why do you love carburetors? Why do you love number 1? Okay, I have to obey it, but I can't say I really like it. Okay, so we've got 4 different versions of carburetors. At least before, last time it gave me a 4 barrel, so it could have done worse there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We've got, let's see, please don't choose 1. It's chosen a 3, I think. That is 2 barrel. Now, that is not the most sophisticated carburetor, but it's also not the worst. And if we go with more carburetors, like if we get 6 carburetors, it'll probably still push some air through the engine. So we've got 4 options. We've got to spin that. Let's see. We've got number 4. Okay, I'll take 6 carburetors. As I was saying, they're only 2 barrel, but we've got so many carburetors. So we've not got fuel injection. We've got 2 barrel carburetors, but we've got so many of those carburetors. You know what? I don't actually think airflow is going to be an issue. Look at that. That's crazy. You know what? For once, I'm not that mad about not getting given fuel injection. Because this is a pretty crazy setup, yes, and it's probably not reliable, but man, it's going to make power. I'm almost certain this is going to make power. It's going to answer to what fuel we get as well, naturally. So we've got 6 versions of what do we get here. We've got 6 different things. It does have the same colour for 1 and 6, but it doesn't matter. There are still different options on the wheel. We've got number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Methanol. It's not really a choice for like the type of compression, is it, on the fuel? So we'll just roll with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Yeah, 6 options here, so we can just spin this wheel again without tweaking it. Oh no. Why are you doing this to me, wheel? Compact is like the lowest end. It certainly seems to retain its love for the number one. Why these wheels love the number one so much, I do not know. We've got headers now. I might be able to pull through with intake manifold if the rest of it is good. So we've got 6 options here. Again, let us see. Number 4. Okay. Let's see number 4 then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tubular mid. That's a pretty good technology there. It's not high-end, high RPM stuff, but on a high RPM engine, there should be worse you could do, kind of thing. Do we want a single or a dual exhaust? And do we want bypass valves? Let us see. Well, regardless of what I want, the wheel's going to choose it anyway. So we've got a single exhaust. And we have got... Have I got bypass valves? They would help, certainly, if it's a single exhaust. And we do get bypass valves. I feel like it's cooking something. To be fair, it's transverse, so a single exhaust isn't perhaps as weird as it might be with a rear-wheel drive V8 or whatever. Now, we've got all these catalytic converters, and it's going to choose that as well, indeed. So we've got 6 options here. 3, 4, 5, 6. The beaten up old Viglin keyboard doing its job. And we have got 5, I believe. Just barely, but it's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is it? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought someone would offer. It's freeway plus pre-cat. Not high flow, but I think we can make this work. I think it's in the grand scheme of things, it's been fairly kind to me. It's like the 6 carburetors. It could have chosen something a lot crueler than it did. Number 4. So we've got straight through. That shouldn't make too much muffling. If you muffle things too much in automation, they just make no noise, and I don't want that. I don't want this thing to be crazy loud either, so whatever the wheel chooses, I have to go with. If this engine turns out to make an absolute racket, I don't know. It probably will, actually, now. Now we've got no second muffler. It's the kind of thing barely legal. I think you can have a car road legal with just 1 muffler, but this is not going to be exactly much of a muffler. It's straight through. If the engine doesn't make much noise to begin with, maybe. Let's see how... I will tune this. 138 standard doesn't sound bad. I reckon we could get at least 200 out of this, because... To me, that doesn't sound loud. So maybe there was some method to the madness. I'll just actually... I'll get rid of the wheel for now. That will show you the power curve. That's what we're dealing with. It looks... Why is it lagging so much? Yeah, it's jumping. Sorry about that. Like, no idea why it's jumping on the power curve so much and not staying stable. But for a carburetted engine with 2 valves per cylinder, I think that power curve is pretty good. I quite like that. And as I say, I will tune it. I'm not forbidden from tuning the hand the wheel deals me, so I think there's a lot of power in that. I do have 2 colours. It gave me 2 random colours with the random colour picker. So it gave me blue and green. Quite nice shades as well. So I think I can get something with that. We've got classic blocky. We've got smooth, which is oddly the thing. It's behind me head, but yeah, there's like there's a cross over the photo for some reason, and it's refusing to show it. So we have that, and we have the blocky one. I kind of like the blocky one, but I kind of like the smooth one. And if we're going for, I guess if we're going for a classic kind of look, the smoothened off one I think looks a bit more like that. So we're going to go with what was it? Not the timing cover, the sump. No, it's the block. Like, if we can have the block, but I don't know if I can change the block. Okay, we can't seem to change the block colour. Maybe it's because of a material. I think I have a way of making this look less bad. So if we go, I think, is it timing cover? Nope. Is there a way to go back? Reset pane, that would be it. I don't know, like, I want to change this header, but I'm not so sure I can change the header, that's the issue. Intake trim, is that it? No. I can't seem to change it. Like, I could be missing something blatantly obvious, and I would have loved to have that so there's less colour difference with the cast iron head, which the wheel had to decide for me, but I can't seem to do that. Maybe if I go back into it in the future and adjust stuff. Ragtail. Oh, we do need to change this because the car is a wheel car. We have to call the brand Wheel because it has been created by the wheel. So that's the thing. These wheels, speaking of wheels, these wheels don't look as good as they could. But also, it chooses whether they're steelies or not, so that's another thing that affects it. I feel happy with this body because it takes the V12 so well, but I do think I have other options. As I say, it is transverse, so there's not a huge amount of space. It gets away with it a little better because there's McPherson struts and they're less impeding on the width of the engine. And I'm going on too much. I need to choose 7 options for transmission, and then I need to let it choose the speeds. 5, 6, 7. Last time I streamed this, it gave me a 3-speed automated manual. Less awful than it could have been. I would have liked more gears, but it could have been a lot worse. Is it hearing me? I think it's giving me auto manual again. You know, I'm still going to take it. It could be worse. Now, please just don't give me 3 gears. So, it's giving me 7 options. I mean, I'm gonna just re-roll this on the same thing because, yes, the numbers will be a bit off the actual gearing. It's quicker. Okay, so we've got 7. I think that's 8 gears. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So 8 gears. You know what? It's given me an automated manual, but it's made up for it by giving me a huge number of gears. I can't complain too much. Like, I think this is actually going to perform really well. Perhaps even going to perform better than the other one. Like, this doesn't have all-wheel drive, and it has leaf springs on the back. But the other one actually had low-end drum brakes on the front, and it had 2-piston carbon ceramics on the rear. That was just the wheel being cool. So, show this here. Yeah, I ended up running with a classic rally theme. It also had a 4x4 setup with open differentials. It did some weird things. Speaking of differentials, we do have our options here. Let's see, will it be nice? It's front wheel drive, so I trust we're going to need a decent differential here. 4, that sounds okay. Let's see what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clutched race LSD. So we've got a race differential. Honestly, I said it's going to need a good differential. It gave me a good differential. I'll take that. I mean, maybe electric LSD is better, but given that this says race, I would imagine it's pretty high-end technology in there. And we have the tyres. Now, this is where it can be cruel, because we have 4 options for tyres. Before, it gave me rally cross plies, which is why I went with the retro rally theme. Oh, we're getting radials. Yes, this is good. I like this. Before, it was giving me cross plies, and I did not like that. I like radials. So we've got radials. How many options now? I think there's 7. 5, 6, 7. So we have got 6. Okay, is that going to be good? That's sports, I think. So not semi-slicks, but we are getting good tyres here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're not building an out-and-out race car, but for a front-wheel drive, like, larger crossover, it's mid-size SUV, so I would say a larger crossover, given that it's front-wheel drive. To have sport radials, we could be doing a lot worse. So the first thing I'm going to try, just for now, I'm going to make them a little wider. There's no set rule on what width I can do. If I let the wheel have that much control, the thing would probably just be completely undrivable. Same with like adjusting the brakes or adjusting the engine. I have to have some potential to turn it into something by tuning it myself. It's just the wheel is going to choose the parts list. So we've got 6 options here, adjust the wheel. When I do go back to change the wheels, if I need to, yeah, I will get rid of the, So we've got the wheel. So we've got steel. We've got steel wheels. And that's a low-end option. But you know what? Given out of everything being a low-end option, the wheels are pretty minor, to be honest. If we were running, I don't know, a large, full-size pickup truck made of steel, then maybe I would be concerned that it's just got steel wheels. But on this kind of car, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. I think we go with 18s. We don't want to make them too big because they're steels. To steelies. And steelies, I don't think they look too good when you make them massive. 18s look pretty good, and I think I can make them work. So if I just hide the wheel in OBS, we can go... Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I mean, there's so few bodies because I kind of said mid-engine, so it had the choice. And it selected front-wheel drive. I mean, it selected that before I even gave it the open option, and then it just selected transverse again. So I'm like, I'm keeping the struts. I'm just not going to re-roll this. I'm keeping the original options. So we've got the... Yeah, this is a green colour. As I say, there's accents. So I think personally, because I like blue, I'm going to make this the main colour, because it did choose me some random colours, blue and green. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the accents in green. No idea if this is actually going to work all that well, but I will be, by doing this, I will be using both colours. I think I can really make this work, though. The roof doesn't have to be green, as long as I have got green to, you know, accent the blue and tie in. I could make the front bumper entirely green. Basically, the rule I've got is I have to use both colours. If I'm using both colours in some capacity, then I should be good. I mean, what I could do, there's chrome, or there's where you can make the windows kind of chrome. I wonder if I could do that green. That is not going to work, is it? No. I mean, I could try one more thing, because pillar trim here, if I make that blue... I don't know what to make of this, really. Like, can I get away with it? So we've got window trim. Make that blue, perhaps? So we've got miscellaneous trim too. That doesn't look as bad. To be honest, this blue and green colour scheme, it makes it look like an electric car. I just see that in it. Like, it looks kind of like an electric car because of this. It seems like the kind of colours you would use. And I've gone press the 1 key. But it looks like the kind of colours that you would use if you were building an electric vehicle. So we've got these pillars back here, miscellaneous trim. They could either be green or they could be blue. I think I'll make them blue, maybe. I don't know. Blue, yeah. Personally, I lean to blue. And it's still got that green bit of trim around the windows. So I think this is overall working out quite well. I'm going to have to do some final design on it later. And maybe I would even change the body. But to be quite honest, I'm happy with how this body is turning out. This body just seems to work. It's not super modern. And it's not super classic. So I think we can make it work. We've got the leaf springs and we've got the struts. Of all the places to have leaf springs... It's not front leaf springs, so I'll accept it. We've got wheels. Where are the wheels? I think wheels are like where you configure the trim. So they'll be on this menu. Now we're going to have to go with some steelies. So something like that. I mean, I don't know about actual steel wheel things. Maybe if I go with some kind of sporty covers. I don't know where they are, but I'm pretty sure there's some like wheel covers that are sporty. 80 to 99 hubcap. These will probably do. Because I think, yeah, I think there were still some sporty ones. They just scream we've got steel wheels. I think the white hubcaps, like, they would look decent. This car does not look like it has a V12. And I actually kind of like that, not going to lie. So what have we got there? There's things like that. They hide them being steelies a little better. I think I'll go with these just because they look less like hubcaps. They look more like alloys. And I'm not a fan of the whole steel wheel thing, personally, but I think that's going to work the best of all of the hubcaps. It also kind of, in my opinion, suits it. I could actually, you know what I could? I could do making these hubcaps green, especially since they're hubcaps. you know. Just that piece of plastic can be green. It's not like you're changing the whole design in order to get it working. So we've got primary wheel, secondary wheel. Where is the inside? Because I don't know. Like, I think I'll make these black. I'm pretty sure I've seen a Crown Victoria where they've got black, like, steelies. So secondary wheel would be there. I mean, I'm just going to make it fairly shiny, like black. Or maybe almost, maybe slightly off black, for lack of a better word. Colour. No flake, just a lot of shine. And then we'll do the same with the inner part of the wheel as well. Wheel lip, that would be, I trust. Yeah, because it kind of matches the wheel, it does come on the edge, but I think that's going to work. So we've got that sorted. And for this wheel, it has to be the green that we have had selected for us. Even if I make like the insides kind of black. Granted, that doesn't really change. Like, the inside part seems to be green with this. Is it because I selected all wheels? I think I did. Yeah, I made everything green. I did not mean to do that. So, wheel lip, that can be the black. And then we've got something else. There we go, secondary wheel. Secondary wheel, there we go. I think they look okay. They're not alloys because the wheel has not given me the opportunity to add alloys. But I believe personally that we have got some nice setup here in general. Here is our crazy V12 with 6 carburetors. I mean, you know, it just does things in a way you wouldn't expect it to typically. And we've got a race differential, but we've only got front wheel drive. So we've got, yeah, good tyres as well. Even if they are steelies, it could have been a lot cooler with the tyres it gave me. Now, the brakes. It was really cruel last time. It gave me the drum SLS on the front, and then 2-piston carbon ceramics on the rear. I somehow made it work. So if we're to bring the wheel back, we have, by the looks of it, we have 5 options. So we'll do that. And I think we'll do the brakes, and then we'll do the number of pistons for each brake. If there are pistons. If it's drum brakes, there won't be. Okay, vented discs. I'm almost certain I can make this work then. We've got 5. No, we've actually got carbon ceramics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first thing I built off stream, it did actually give me carbon ceramics, so I'm more than happy to take this. It's building this weird race crossover. It's actually partial carbon fibre as well, and a what do you call it? Semi space frame and aluminium. So this is like good. This is almost supercar stuff in a lot of ways. And then they gave me steel wheels. Crazy how it thinks. What I might get what it's going for though. Like before, as I'll bring it up, before it gave me a where is it? It gave me this kind of rally car thing, and that's cross-ply rally tyres as well because reasons. It gave me that. Like, it eventually worked out to be some kind of 1970s rally car type thing. This seems to be building a sleeper of sorts. From what I'm seeing so far, it doesn't look like an ultra-high performance car. I mean, that much makes sense. It's even got the colour scheme of an electric car, so it's not going to look like this intimidating race car. But then they're giving me things like a race differential and soft radial tyres, which should be pretty good for performance, especially if I make them wider. And I'm going on too much, but okay, pistons come first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 options there. We will just roll this again then, because you have to select that first. So there we go. 3 pistons. Okay, I'll take that. Those are some very good brakes. They're not 6 piston, but quite frankly, I don't think this is going to need 6 pistons. I don't imagine it weighing more than about 1,500 kilos. Something that I could be wrong on, but who knows. So we've got 4 options for the next set of brakes. Let's see. It would give me drums. I wouldn't hate it too much. Oh my. We're getting 2 carbon ceramic sets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is incredible. I'm not even kidding. Like, I feel that they are trying to build a street sleeper. And it actually... The steel wheels even help with this when you think about it, because they hide the carbon ceramic brakes. It's almost like there's some kind of method to it. It's madness. Because you wouldn't see their carbon ceramics underneath those wheels. What else? We've got to choose a piston number. So that would be 5 options, I believe. We'll go and add a 5th option. And yes, I didn't not show the wheel on OBS. That would not be good. 1 piston? You know what? Like, again, that's the lowest end type of piston for carbon ceramic brakes. I don't hate it, as I say. It lines up. 3 pistons front, 1 piston rear. The rear typically needs less braking force than the front. So I would perhaps even set a car up this way myself. Which for a random wheel is an excellent compliment, I believe. We've got what else? Under tray. So we've got 7 options here. I am learning. There's 7 options at maximum. So let's see what it gives us. We've got 2. Okay. Off-road skid tray. Well, that's an interesting choice. To be fair, the skid tray isn't going to impact much. I do also need to... It's going to be more in the visuals, but I'm going to actually ask it this time round. I didn't do it last time. This time I'm going to ask it, should I have front, rear downforce, both, or neither? Because I feel the wheel should have control. Before, it was only a 2-seater sports car, so it didn't really have a choice for the seats. You know what? I think I'm going to minimise it at 2 seats. I don't see this having less than 2 seats. I think I'm going to go with the practical numbers of seats that you may see in this type of car. So we'll go 2, 4, 6. So maybe we've got 8. Yeah. It wouldn't have a bench seat, I don't think, given how it's kind of taken this sleeper form. So 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Like, they all seem like decent enough seat amounts for this car. 2 perhaps a little less so, but if it asks me for 2 seats for maximum performance or whatever, I'll take it. And 8. I don't hate this. I actually really like it. It's insane, and I love it. An 8-seater, like, front-wheel drive hypercar, which also looks like a crossover. I don't hate this at all. It's insane, and I love it. Watch as it makes me have a luxury interior now or something. Because it is going to decide that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7, yeah. There'll be 7. 7 options here. Let's see which one it gives me. 3. So we've got premium. Okay. The weirdest thing of all, this makes sense as well, canonically. If we're talking, they've taken a SUV crossover. Just hide the wheel for a moment. If we're talking like taking a 2000s SUV or crossover, which was maybe premium but a lower trim line, it actually makes sense. And then they've thrown loads of supercar bits at it to make it unnecessarily quick. The craziest thing is, it doesn't seem to make no sense at all. So we've got 4 options for the... I'll just stick to heads-up display. Maybe, I don't know. Actually, so how many have we got here? Because there's something I can check. So none. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 options here. Basically, I'm going to see which one it is. Just to give the wheel even more control. We're going to go with one of 9 options, and then it's going to be whichever kind of number we get is how far progressed it's going to be. Is this going to give me a CD player? That would be perfect. Or even a cassette player. If it gives me some kind of like CD or cassette player, that's going to be absolutely perfect, I think. Not because I like CD players, but also because it matches the time period if we're going for a 2000s crossover. So 1 would be this. None. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cassette, okay. You know what? I'll take cassette. It's not that far off. It looks like we're looking at, say, maybe a base model Volkswagen or something. I know Volkswagen isn't necessarily a premium car manufacturer, but it's the one I could think of that would maybe put a more premium interior in a normal car, at least materials-wise. So it's like we're looking at some Volkswagen crossover, but the absolute base model. Maybe an Audi. It's front-wheel drive, so certainly it would fall more to the Volkswagen Audi group and other German manufacturers, which tend to be rear-wheel drive bias. We've got 4 options. Let's see which cassette player we get. If it sets premium, then, or standard even. No, basic. As I say, it's like the absolute base model Volkswagen. The materials aren't terrible, but you're not looking at the highest level of equipment. And the thing is, it makes sense. If we're looking around about the year 2000, where this car was maybe originally made, it makes sense. So I don't see a need to change this body at all now, because that looks like it could easily be from about the year 2000. I considered it before, not anymore. So we've got 7 options for this. 5, 6, 7. Let's see what it gives us for steering. Please be nice. 7 or 6? 6. Just barely went down to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's electric. Not electric variable, but I'll take it. It's semi-realistic because, I mean, maybe you would see hydraulic rack and pinion, realistically speaking, on a car like this. I doubt it would have variable, though. So, I don't know. I think Toyota MR2s in the 90s, they were not ultra expensive cars, and they had electric steering, I believe. So it's less likely in a road car, a front-engine road car this era, but still. Maybe it's just putting the V12 in, they had to go with electric steering to make it work. That's the headcanon I'm going with right now. So we have got 1, 2, or 3. Are we going to get ABS or anything? 1. No, we're not even getting ABS. Right. I can still tie this in with a headcanon. All the electronics broke when the engine swapped it to a V12. So, other than like, okay, the cassette player worked somehow when the V12 swapped it, but nothing else did. That's my headcanon for it now. So, safety. Again, for the practicality of it, I'm thinking we'll set 1990 or later, just because it lines up with where this car kind of falls visually. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 options, I would say, that are kind of realistic and kind of represent this car. Or I could even go with 1980s, but as I say, it just looks like this is how it should be, personally. I mean, I could put an 80s body on it because it's cassette, but I know what I'm kind of going for. Okay, so we've got 1990. That is stage 3, so 1. No, so that's 1, 2, 3. So we've got 2010 safety. Maybe I can tie this in still, just about. It's a very safe car for the year 2000. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. The wheel was seeming to be a bit odd with the selection of the options. So we've got 3. Come on, wheel. Which option do we go for? We've got, okay, we've got very advanced. I feel like at this point it's just trying to mess with me. Look, or I could pretend that this is simply them adding a roll cage to an old chassis. I have ways of making the cannon work. Besides, it's very light because of the carbon fibre and stuff, so maybe it'll just balance out. No ABS, though. Like, it would have to be from the late 90s, early 2000s, because after that, or the very dawn of the 2000s, I mean, because after that point, ABS would literally become standard. So, or there's also the explanation that the ABS just broke. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 options here. Let's see. Let's see what craziness ensues. 1. Standard springs. Are we building a race car that's still somehow using the standard suspension of a 90s, 2000s economy car? This is not going to work out if that's the case. Before it was really nice. It gave me hydropneumatic suspension, like my wheel car, but it seems this time it's not being quite as nice. Hydropneumatic also meant you get the dampers pre-selected. I think that was gas monotube. It wouldn't let you use anything else. We've got 4, though. We've got semi-active dampers. You know what? The springs being standard, I don't think is going to end it completely. It's on leaf springs on the back, to be honest. So, There's not even any springs on the back. It's literally just beams of metal. It's only the front that's going to be springs, to be honest. We've got, got to select another one of 4 for the sway bars. And we have passive. What kind of suspension setup is this? It could at least consistently be cheap. I think it's going to be okay. At least the dampers are semi-active. They're the one thing leaf springs do have. They don't have actual springs, but they have dampers. I think there may be kind of some method to the madness. Kind of idea. This could handle amazingly. I feel like I should try and keep the sleeper potential. I think that's everything now, other than the aerodynamics. So I'm going to have to add various aerodynamics. So we're going to go... I can tune it later. For the moment, for the time being, we're going to go with the aerodynamics being all front with none. If it's got, like, nonetheless, it fills it out too. No. So, let's see. I don't want it to be front. Oh, you are too kind at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely trying to build a street sleeper at this point. All aerodynamics. And I'll take that quite happily, even without the sporty performance under tray. And I do intend to honour this looking a bit more like a sleeper. So... I'm not going to try and make the aerodynamics overtly obvious. I'm going to try and hide them at least a little. Or at least make them look like an OEM handling pack or something from a early 2000s, late 90s Volkswagen. So, diffuser. I think we're going to want a diffuser, but they're front lips, aren't they? So, where do I take this? You know what? That's plastic. If I could make this green, that would be actually pretty subtle. So if we bring that back in here. So we've got our front lip here. I think if I extend that backwards. Like, it's not perfect. I won't pretend that's a perfect fit, but if I make it green, it will also tie into the overall design scheme. And as I say, by doing this, I am more than happy with what I'm achieving. So that matches a trim colour now, which happens to be that colour. And you see, that's going to provide proper aerodynamics because of the way automation works. But it's not going to scream, I am aerodynamic, I am a race car. Just trying to keep the lines going as they are. Now, I'm going to have to try my hardest to build a car that looks like it's from the era I specified. I think if we go with some fog lights... I'm not going to spend ages on this. I will return to it a bit later, but... So I think we want these ones. Base 2. It calls them base, but really, I want something that doesn't look too modern because of where this car is falling. Tried to do it with the other one, but the body was just totally wrong for it. So we've got that. I would say have some chrome on it, but, you know, the blue and green colour scheme, I want to keep that going. I don't think it needs a massive lower grille. Probably should, really, for handling and such. But I want it to, as I keep saying, I want this thing to look like it should. Like a lowish end car. I think I can make this work. So we'll go with this. What I think I could do, I could add a little bit of chrome. Could add a little bit of chrome. Actually, no, the more I think of it, it is a wheel car, so, like, I know it would impede the fog lights, but I do like having little references to it being a wheel car. Like, I'll just try and show the other one. And I've got the wheel up. I really shouldn't have the wheel up. Sorry about that. Anyway, now you can see what I'm designing properly. So, we have got the image 2, as I called it. This is what I built before. And I was going to say something, but I can't remember. That was the design I went with. Ah, the wheel. Like, you look at the vent here, that's the obvious place. It's got kind of that needle on. That's because it's the wheel of the needle pointing over it. I don't want to impede the fog lights, so if they're actually fog lights, that's the issue. But I guess I don't have much choice. So what good grills do we have that could potentially work for this job? I used a kind of Tesla grill before, and that worked quite well. There has got to be something. There's this. How do I need something that's kind of like leveled out on both sides. This might do the job. This looks like it might do the job. About as good as anything could. Yeah, I quite like this. So if we have that, so like, make it look kind of fancy, I guess. They specified the LED lighting package. You spend, what, a couple of grand on just LEDs. So, we've got that. You know what, I don't hate that. So I was going to say, I could make it chrome. If I move that back, will it? No. There's not a whole lot I can do. Other than that, I could bring that forwards, and that does fix it, actually. So if we've got that, we probably want something, like, somewhat transparent there. I think that'll work. Because we do want some ventilation here. Especially with how high performance it's going. And then we'll go... I think make this green. I'm not sure this is going to look all that great, but it is a thing. Or I could alternatively just have like the inside green. I think that's kind of better. So if I go chrome, if I go with like chrome here, and then on this there should be, yeah, there's a beam. I can change that to being green. It looks a little more interesting therefore, without being over the top. And another like green piece of trim there. I'm not sure I like it, I'll be honest, but it dictated the colour scheme, not me. I just like chrome, so I tend to put chrome in too much of the places. I think that's okay. And we're going to need some headlights. Kind of know where to go here. I just need something fairly just chunky. They're Mercedes lights, I believe. They look a little too old for this era of vehicle, but maybe I can make them work. I would say, even to be short, I can just compress them down and most people probably won't notice too much. I don't like doing that because it's not the ideal way of setting up lights, but they seem to line up well enough. And I think it is a Mercedes body. I just think it's from a newer Mercedes, like the C-Class from about 2000. I think 2000 to 2005 they made that generation of C-Class, so a little newer than these lights, but I think being that it's a more squared off SUV type body, I believe I can make it work. And do we want chrome? I don't think I need to add any more green. I've added some nice green trim lower down. I could add a green badge. I added a green badge saying eco or something. Chrome there. I'm spending too long designing this, to be quite honest. I feel like the indicator lights shouldn't be orange, but they work well enough. This is where we're going to get an amount of, not elegance, but an amount of designing. There we go. So we can compress that down a little. Those lights will have to, they'll have to hopefully appear over the top of the grille. And like so, we'll go 2 there. I don't know if this is even going to work personally. Nope. We need to narrow end this. I don't know if that's perfect. It probably isn't perfect, actually. I think I can tell that much, but still. Hello, evil Elena. I have been working on a car that the wheel told me to. It seems to have been building some kind of sleeper, and it also gave me leaf springs. But this thing is actually looking really good. It's given me good brakes, it's given me a good differential, it's given me front wheel drive, and it's given me a V12 mounted sideways. Because you totally want a Ferrari engine from the 1960s powering a front wheel drive SUV. Or crossover is a technical term. So if this is a crazy thing, I think the front end is okay. I'm going for a look of around about a 2000s car because that seems like it's going to work. And I'm just trying to really add stuff here. I thought I wasn't going to add too long. I do need to add aero. I did actually ask a wheel. I'll just briefly show this because it's already up. That was the aerodynamics, and it decided I should use aerodynamics on both the front and rear of the vehicle. As such, I've tried to add it in kind of a subtle way. So we have the front lip to add us some front aero, and we've got nothing on the back, but we can add a rear wing. I just want it to look kind of like a factory vehicle that would never be this fast. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. This is also random, might I mention. I didn't choose this colour scheme. I got the random thingy. I'll show this as well, actually. I got the random colour wheel, and it chose 2 colours. I copied the code, put it in automation, and that's the colours I'm using. So I decided to go with blue for the main body and green as an accent colour. I was always thinking this looked like an electric car, personally, because I think at least they used to put a lot of green accents on them. So, you know, and blue is also like a colour I think they would use. So that's why I thought of it that way. And that is a wing. That is certainly a wing. I'm not sure it fits how it's supposed to. If I make that narrower, it'll work for the time, I think. Why isn't it in the middle? Can I... Ah, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have it, like, further down like that. What's it doing? Is this 3D? I think I've gone 3D, yeah. No, I've not. I've gone 2D. Like, what's it going on here? Lower that a little. Come on. I think I might give it a sunroof, but no, it's... With the way it's gone, it doesn't look like a high-trim car, like the steel wheels and stuff, so I don't want it to look like it's a really posh vehicle. We've got a really weird out-of-place wing that doesn't make sense where it is. There we go. So I think we can make that a little narrower, and we should be good. There we are. That falls into place decently well. That's going to give me some serious downforce, I hope. Yeah, a mystery machine because you don't know what's in it because it's a sleeper. I don't know. Also, I do need to actually change this grill because the ventilation... I've not got mirrors, have I? That will do. Like, that should be enough ventilation to keep this beast of an engine cool. It gave me carburetors again. It hates fuel injection. I don't know why it hates fuel injection, but it does. I think of all the things, I could go with... What's it? It could go... I don't know what I'm saying. I just forgot halfway through my sentence. It's got a single exhaust, according to this. That's a big exhaust. Actually, I've had an idea. Keep the green going, so I'll go put it down here like so. And then we can go change this colour to green. There we go. I think that blends fairly nicely with the green going over it. Granted, I could probably make it shorter. It looks a lot over the top, in a way, just with how long it is. So I shorten that. I think that looks better. It's still like, it still sticks out a bit though. Does Sakura actually make cat noises? I should add that as a response. Sakura making actual cat noises. So, we need mirrors. I think they're the ones I used before. What looks 2000s, I would think. I've not got a tail light still. I'll have to add them later. There's so much I've got to do on this. And I'm already quite a while in, I think. 1 hour 15 in. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. For time. Yeah, these look very generic. I like it. They're very small, but they're also very generic. Could give it green mirrors, but I don't feel like that. I mean, I don't know any name for this yet, so other than that, it's a wheel car. So you can say if anything falls to mind. I could name it like some really weird knockoff Scooby-Doo vehicle. That would also kind of work, I think, given what it is. Yeah, I don't want it to go over the green trim and block it, kind of. Like that. It just doesn't look right. You wouldn't have a mirror halfway, like, bolted through a piece of trim. I think if I move that out a little, I'll be good. Maybe I'll make it a little, shorter. I wouldn't count on it. Is Sakura giving you the most confusing answer, I wonder? Oh, also, the Discord 8-ball thingy, it told me Labubu eggs aren't real. So we can trust that. It's one of the... I think it's supposed to, like, detect trolling answers and then start acting all like that. That's why it sometimes says things. I think that's okay. These wheels do look small, but I think they're fine. As I say, it's supposed to be on steel wheels, and steel wheels don't look good if you keep making them so massive. I'm going to turn my avatar into a cheese because I feel like it. I can't spell either. I know it did. It does a lot of strange. It says a lot of strange things. I think like it's supposed. I think it just assumed it was like a trolling question and answered that way. I don't even know how many answers there are, but it's a bit of an odd program. I didn't program it, so I don't know everything about it, but yeah. I feel like that 8-ball is actually much closer to what 8-ballina than the other 8 balls. That I somehow feel like that's actually close to her than, I don't know, the other 8-ball. I made my 8-ball a mute so it can only exclusively, like the one I drew, I made it a mute so it can only exclusively talk through what do you call it? Cards with certain set words on. Like, that's why I made it that way. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe it got insulted very easily. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, supposedly it can get crazy at times. This is the engine. I'll play the sound of the engine if I have. Yeah, I've got rid of the wheel. I'll play the sound of this engine again. It's a pretty nice sounding engine, although it did configure it in a slightly weird way, as you could probably expect. It's surprisingly quiet, given it's only got a straight through muffler and no second muffler. I expected this to be a lot more noisy. Yeah. I mean, it just seems to make sense, because to me, 8-ballina just seems to have more attitude, which actually matches the Discord one. So, I mean, I feel like that's the best way to canonically make sense of it. It's giving me a naturally aspirated engine again, so no turbos. Rack the carb size up. That's probably not even good for it. No. 6 carburetors. It's giving me a lot of carburetors. They're 2-barrel carburetors, but still, there are a lot of them. I mean, I'm just waiting for the moment it gives me fuel injection, because really, I think it should give me fuel injection. I want fuel injection. But this is not bad. This is a lot better than last week, where it just gave me 1 carburetor. Even if the engine is smaller. I wonder which engine will be more powerful, actually. I'm curious to see if this engine will be more powerful than the other one. Oh, it's giving me a compact thing. I'm just trying to remember this from, like, whenever it was. A while ago when I built it. So, yeah, it's done that. It's done some odd things, odd choices, and I just have to, like, work around them. Okay, so tubular mid, it seems to want that to be smaller to a point. I can also make this bigger because it's a single exhaust, so maybe that will help. I mean, the engines can get crazy in tuning. How far? So I've easily got half an hour to finish building this. Should be able to do something within that time. A sandwich. Was that a sandwich where it's actually made of sand? It seems to be liking higher compression, which is interesting. Let's see. Oh, these figures are good. These figures are better, though, actually. The torque is a little weak on the conrod because I think it shows, yeah, it shows cast iron, so the torque's a little weaker. RPM isn't that bad, actually. It revs higher than before, which is probably because it's a V12. I'm concerned, though, this engine is just going to max out at, like, some really low figure. So we've got a fairly decent engine, but I feel this at a 3-litre V12, it should be making a lot more power than it is. What I could try, actually, just ramp the cam profile and springs and lifters up. That should make it like higher revving kind of engine, but also when it does max out, it should rev really nicely and make decent power. So put that up to like 8300. I'll lower that if it needs to. I know, the wheel has built better cars than I have built. But as I say, it makes some odd decisions. So like this engine, I'm going to have to work hard on tuning it just because it's done some odd choices that don't really make sense. It seems to like the compression being really high though. Like I don't ever build cars which need this much compression. Maybe it's to do with the fuel. It chose a slightly odd fuel. I think like maybe that's hurting it. Yeah, it chose methanol, and I don't know what methanol really does. I think it's supposed to be like a slightly more powerful track fuel that's also supposed to be environmentally friendly. Actually, you know what? If it is that, I have to check this. I have actually thought, because I thought evil Elena as it is, because you're not a moderator on this channel, so I thought if, I don't know, I think I might have to do it, but the Battle Royale, I'm curious to see if not being a moderator allows you into the Battle Royale. So, I think you could get a different colour of Len as well. I'm probably misspelling it, but if this works, because I just have to see, I'll make you a mod eventually if it needs to be, but I am curious to see if not having the moderator privileges somehow makes the Battle Royale work. Unless it has to be one word. I'll try that. I just have to try this, just because it's curious for me to see if it actually does a thing. Okay, so that worked. Interesting. I thought it was going to kick my cheese out for a moment. That would actually be kind of funny. So that's interesting. I'll have to see. I'll make you a moderator, and then if it doesn't work after that, I'll know it's something to do with, like, moderator privileges being completely messed up, and I'll have to check that, but it at least gives me an idea what's causing it. Okay, this is, like, this engine is doing weird things. I didn't think I would have to build it this way, but it's making more power this way. And the delivery is awful now. Like, it's all over the place, but I think I can fix that. You imagine Sakura somehow pulling a victory out of this. Who am I gonna... Cheese power! I use the cheese power! The cheese is all powerful now. Because I totally didn't program it that way. Dislike moderators fighting. Yeah, but that's the weirdest thing. I've seen it on other times and it's not had any problem. It's just my particular stuff. So now I can probably yeah, add as moderator. Now you can see if it actually lets you join the battle royale as a moderator, or if it's doing something weird. And then I can start another one and see if it's like affected by who starts it, just to get to the bottom of this problem. I mean, at least if it lets you in your own battle royales, then it gives you a way to earn money other than gambling. Yeah, the cheese cheated. No, what was it? You could say Sakura's lactose intolerant or something, and the cheese used that power against it. I know, not all cheese has lactose in though, so that's another thing. I mean, this engine, I don't know what to make of it. Like, it's insane. I mean, maybe it's the carburetors. At least the carburetors, I can add more and more airflow through the carburetors, so that's a thing. There's also fuel map. I mean, I honestly think the V10 is going to be more powerful than this, to be quite honest. Even with that thing's issues, it's still 4 valves per cylinder. This has a direct acting overhead cam, and it's just not really an advanced header at all. Granted, they did get power from these in the 1950s, when they were using small displacement V12s in race cars, so I really don't know. It's probably going to sound amazing, but whether you're going to go very fast, who knows. I think it's going to be really quick around the corners, if nothing else, in a way that the other cars just couldn't compete with. I might actually do a time trial and put both cars in, just to see which one actually wins out of them. Yeah, magical girl transformation. Indeed. Like, you probably get in the car and then get in like the other wheel car, where is it? And then when you get out of this car, you become a mod or something like that. Probably also bump your head on the roof because it's so low. Wouldn't surprise me. Like, with cars being as low as that, I bump my head on my car and it's not even that low. I guess it's no SUV, but still. Timing, yes. Timing is helping. Again, like, I don't know. I'm guessing it's just the overall technology in the engine and stuff, combined with the fact it's got loads of carburetors. It's just making this kind of awkward to build. Timing, it likes higher timing. Okay, let's see if a battle royale. It's working. Well, I'm not in the battle royale. I am now in the battle royale. Again, why do I always come out of the plane last? It's like the cheese sticking to the metal on the plane or something, and it just won't slide out. Yeah, it really likes the fast timing on the engine, so I'm getting somewhere, I think. I don't really have an idea what to do here, because the engine is just so messed up in terms of the overall layout that I'm not sure how to try and build something like this. I guess it needs an equally messed up setting on the overall nature of how it's built, how it's tuned. Like, I can't change the carburetors though, even if these are not ideal. Oh, is Sakura getting a med pack? I think she is. She's probably cheated again. No, my cheese is going to get destroyed. Oh dear. The thing is, one thing I can say about this Battle Royale on here, though, it's a completely different PC that I use for my gaming stuff. Like, the art PC is basically very optimised to doing just art stuff, and then this is optimised more for gaming stuff. And it is generally a lot more powerful. So, yeah, Sakura seems to keep winning Battle Royales. That's something that hasn't changed between the two systems. Also, yeah, the gaming PC, though, this gaming PC also has one distinct feature, which is the beaten-up old Viglin keyboard. I mean, I feel like it should become a channel meme at this point. Like, my keyboard is just some beaten-up unit from 2013, which is begging to be replaced, but I won't let it get replaced. I feel... I should actually... Imagine if I made my Viglin keyboard as a playable avatar. I think that would be kind of funny, but it's just like a zombie. And I don't think you can add creaking noise. It would be kind of funny if it creaked every time it moved. Okay, 7.2 seconds to 60 with very little power. It's quick at least. How heavy is this? I have to check now. How heavy is this car? Because I didn't check before. This is actually 1274. This is lighter than the last vehicle. I guess it's not all-wheel drive, but it is light. Wow. So if it's a balancing mass, if a balancing mass improves RPM, maybe I could do that, but I don't know if I need it. So we've got this, what was it called? The compact, the compact intake manifold. Oh, I can make that smaller. So the compact intake manifold was just too big. I thought it would be restricting air horribly. I guess it isn't restricting air so horribly as I thought it would be. And then we have this header. This engine just isn't making power. This is helping quite a bit, but it does not like making power. And I really am trying. And then there's the other issue with just the power curve being completely rocky and messed up. Actually, this is helping a lot. Tuning the intake and exhaust headers is helping quite a bit. I'm making at least 200 horsepower at the end of this. As I say, even if it doesn't make incredible power, it should be very quick around the corners. And it does actually have better gearing and lower curb weight than the other car, if nothing else. Yeah, I do want to time trial the both of them, though. Because it could be very interesting to see which one of the wheel cars is genuinely quicker. I'll probably take them off-road, which is theoretically going to favour the other car, but I may not be entirely against this one. Yeah. But the weirdest thing is, like, I'm sure this keyboard has a school computer curse, which I know of all too well, and I've seen it on the used school computers I have as well, which are like ex-school computers they've got rid of because they've replaced them. They just don't like dying. And that's the thing, it's like, if it's a school PC, they only fail. They only fail when you're like, on the rare occasions when you don't want them to fail. They work perfectly, though, when you've got to, like, sit in a classroom and you don't want to use them. It's like one rule of these school computers, and it's insane. I had these... There was these Pentium 4s when I was at school. The fans were going off wildly, and you got the feeling that they were literally just covered. Like, you got the feeling there was 2 dust bunnies living inside the PC. And the things didn't stop. They just kept going. Like, they were begging, please clean out the components. It's hurting. I don't think anyone ever did. I mean, at least for all the abuse this keyboard suffered, at least I have cleaned it. Those school computers I had to use, they never cleaned the keyboards in like 7 years or whatever it was. And that was as gross as you can imagine. So we're going to get 200 horsepower. The other one was making like almost 100 horsepower more than this. You know what's worse? I actually have a Razer mechanical keyboard though. I somehow have the only Razer mechanical keyboard which hasn't failed. Because Razer keyboards are known to be... Razer goods in general are just generally known to be pretty unreliable. And fail quite easily. I've got the one Razer keyboard that is extremely reliable, which because I bought it cheap, used. That board, I would rather use it. I would rather use this beaten up old school computer keyboard than that Razer one. I just do not like the feel of that or the sound of it at all. And I mean, I guess that says more about me having weird keyboard tastes, but I have used mechanical keyboards I like. It's just they're usually the older ones from the 90s and such. Okay, I can lower this. No kidding, this Gran Turismo music actually works on automation. Yeah, yeah, 2008. The ones I've used were earlier than that. I mean, 2008 to me doesn't even seem old. My Core 2 Duos are from 2008, typically. Like, the issue is, like, you've probably not lived in that day, but before the Core 2 Duos and the Athlon 64X2s and all the other dual cores, PCs, older PCs were really slow. And I mean, we're not even talking 20-year-old PCs at that time. We're talking PCs of like 5 years ago were slow. Like, that was just the nature. Technology progressed, I would argue, faster back then than it does now. Yeah, I know it's 17 years old, but it hurts me to think that because 2008 does not feel like 17 years ago. I've got a PC case from the year 2000, which I put Core 2 Duo stuff in from 2008. And that's a PC I still use sometimes. I've got a PC which is from like 2010 recently. That was where I got the vented side panel for my art PC off. It doesn't seem like it's a 15-year-old system to me. And I checked the manufacture date. It is just 15 years old, like a couple of months ago or something. It's hard to believe it's like that long ago now. Anyway, I need to get back to building the engine. I know. 2007, like that being 8 years ago. Where did the time go? Well, mainly playing with computers, but still. And it's one of those things that's like, as I say, so much changed in the computing world between 1997 and 2007. But then since then, everything really just slowed down. It's like you went from maybe LCD monitors to slightly slimmer LCD monitors. Like, monitors completely changed from 97 to 2007. Okay, we've got almost... I think I'm going to have to accept 200 horsepower here. Granted, I don't know what's wrong with this. I don't know why it's being like this, and it's just confusing because the power curve is pretty bad. Yeah, fooling around dancing in that time, and that's... I mean, the Pentium 4s, though, is like... There's a capacitor plague and everything. So much happened in that time period, though. Yeah, the thing is, this is a lot of horses. I can actually show on the other car, though. It maybe seems like a lot, but believe me, 200 horsepower on this. And then we can go back to this car, which I honestly think looks better in reality. We can go back to this. And if it ever loads in, it says somewhere there, 294.8. It's making almost 100 horsepower more than the car I am currently working on. Both are wheel builds, though. I honestly believe, though, this one is going to handle better. I believe this is going to handle a lot better than the other car, it's just going to come at the cost of outright straight line speed and the power curve, perhaps. I think if I go, maybe if I lower the compression and then adjust that with the fuel map, because sometimes you can do this. Sometimes the fuel map can help. I don't know. That's 0. It's as I say, the compression, it has to be so high to actually make the power. I feel like I'm just burning too much time trying to get the engine working. There's other bits that need to be working. How they measure horsepower is actually pretty interesting, because it's something like how long a horse takes to walk in a circle or something crazy. I think I need to lower the... I think I need to lower the springs and lifters, because otherwise the power curve is just going to keep being downright awful. I think if I like maintain this to a certain level, so something like 47, and then I can try and adjust everything around it to try and get it to balance out, maybe. I mean, like, maybe if I had VVT or VVL, I'm not allowed VVT or VVL. That's what's crazy about how this is built, because it favours ones, as we all know. It selected 1 on both those tries, both things that could have made this thing a little easier to build. Ah, I've gone and pressed the wrong slider thing. This is not working at all. I think I'm going to just have to accept that this is going to be an awful power curve and just try and get what I can out of it. Maybe if I lower that, is it liking the lower springs and lifters as well? I have lost power though, that's the awkward thing. Ooh, 500 paper clips. You know what that is? That's Clippy making a break for it. That's literally Clippy and the crew trying to escape. You know, those Clippies are working together, I tell you. They're planning something. I don't know what it is, and I'm scared to find out. The power curve now is slightly less awful than it has been, but it's come at the cost of power. I mean, what am I supposed to do? If I can get 195, I think I'll take it. It's not ideal, but 195 is some kind of power delivery. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to stick that on 75. I don't think I can really push it any more than that. Okay. I'll see you in a moment when I've hopefully sorted this car's engine out. Made it less awful. Alright, so we've got, yeah, got almost 190. The carb size, is that going to play into it? Doesn't want to be any larger, that's for sure. Okay, likes being a smaller carb size, apparently. Timing, does it want, I can go fuel map, that's for sure. Yes, fuel map might save it. Save me, fuel map. There we go. Does it want a larger carb now? No, it doesn't. At least with the single 4-barrel carb, it was kind of easy to understand what was going on. It doesn't seem easy to understand what it's trying to achieve here. Okay. Come on. Don't let me down, little engine. Which is not that little. It is still fighting. The only issue is it's fighting me. So, cam profile, can you go up? $193.6. Oh, I think I'm getting somewhere. It actually looks like the power curve may be getting better now with how this is falling. Kind of losing that really harsh bump in the middle. I mean, almost. It's still there. It's not as bad as it used to be. Okay, are you going to function? Yeah, so I think if I go to a point at which it stops gaining power so much... There we go, 81. Alright, so this is... It's still not ideal. It's doing a thing. It's a weird engine to tune. Feels like I'm running on leaded fuel or something. Which wouldn't be too far off. So it's a pain to build, and it's only making 2/3 of the horsepower of the actual V10 I was using before. Fuel map. Now, can the fuel map do anything to help this? Yes, it can. 7 miles per gallon. So I think it drinks more fuel than the V10, and it makes less power. That's a thing. $194.9. Manifold size. No. I could try making the manifold size larger. Yeah, making this a bit larger now is definitely helping. Helping the power curve as well, actually. So if I can run that a little larger. Yeah, 95. That's gone up a little, I think, but not enough to really notice. So we've almost done this now. It's taken longer than I would have liked, definitely. But we have kind of got a engine. The one thing I can say is it's definitely within tolerances. 195.3. I think it's fairly quiet, so running a larger exhaust shouldn't destroy the thing. That's not bad sounding. And what kind of RPM limit have we got? Okay, so I don't think I'm going to lose anything with the RPM. I do have a harmonic damper. Am I missing out on power because of this? Oh, Bauer. Oh no, the oatmeal raisin cookie. Yeah. But I tell you, maybe you shouldn't just sweep them up. Those clippies will do something. But there's loads of clippies on the internet, I tell you. They're planning something. I think they're just a part of it. Who knows what they will do when they're set free from the box. So that's the thing. 195. I mean, I've tried. I'm revving it higher than I should be, I think. But it still maxes out at 8,300. So I think it's just about within the limits of the engine. I think, personally, my head says for safety measures, even though it doesn't like revving lower, I probably should. This is the best I can do, though. It's been a weird thing to build, but I think I'll take 195 horsepower. Sounds pretty nice as well. I'll take it. I mean, I was expecting more, to be quite honest, given the parts list it gave me. But sometimes you can't get all the power. At least it's making something. I guess that's the upside. Yeah. I totally didn't wig that. I totally didn't rig that for my cheese to win. Okay, so we've got front and rear downforce. This is one thing to adjust because it will slow it down for top speed. It's not got a huge amount of power. Ooh. Do we want active with aero and cooling flaps? We're going to have to bring up the wheel just one more time. And that's a random colour generator, not the wheel. But we're going to have to bring this up one more time, so 1 and 2. Wait, did it say I won 6,000 Guy coin? I can't help but think that's a bit skewered. It was 500 on the thing. Wait, if I can see that before. Wait, something's up, and I totally didn't hack it because last time Sakura won the Battle Royale, and it's in the chat log, and it says 500 Guy coin. Why has it given me 6,000 Guy coin for winning? That is just strange. Gotta just get the spinning for cooling flaps, and it does say yes. That is strange though. Why is it giving me 6,000 Guy coin? I can't help but think that's a little excessive. I didn't ask for nor need that many Guy coin. I mean, I won't refuse it, but anyway. Ah, did it? Right. Oh yeah, it's a prize, isn't it? You set the prize. I'm being so dumb. I'm so dumb. I don't even know how my own software works. So yeah, that would explain it. 6,700. You missed a trick. Could have made it 67 Guy coin. So we've got cooling flaps. At least the thing should stay cool then with those cooling flaps. So how I adjust aero on this game is, like, if I can't do this now, I will probably return later and test it. The aerodynamics. Wait, I think I was looking at towing weight before. This is actually, yeah, this is heavier. This is heavier than the other car and less powerful. 1,700 kilos. How it's that heavy, I don't know. I guess it's all the seats. It's got like 8 seats as per the wheels demands. So yes, this is an 8-seater car. It maybe doesn't look like it, but there's space for the whole crew in here. Maybe that's why it's got leaf springs to support a lot of weight back there. I mean, 8 seats, that's a lot of people. We've got, yeah, we've also got a cassette player because I gave it a bit more control on what infotainment it's got. So it's got a cassette player. Where was it? Oh yeah, I was checking the aero and then I got distracted. Performance. So we've got actually lift. We've got a lot of lift. So I think we're going to need to ramp these both up. See what I can get. Okay, so I think it's going to lift on the front no matter what I do by the looks of it. But what I can do is, if we go aerodynamics, because it's going to get front end lift, so it's going to get front end lift by the looks of it. Yeah, I can't change that. I've not got fancy undertray or anything. What I can do, I can set it to have downforce on the back at least, so it will have rear end grip even if the front ends up lifting at the on the very edge of the grip. And there's a lot of front weight anyway, so I think we can balance this out okay. It doesn't look like it'll be good aerodynamically anyway. So we've got suspension to tune. I think, I don't know, it's like blue Len. I don't know if it's like a glitch or whatever. I think you can get them all in blue pretty much. But I'm not sure of that. Oh, there's an MPV there. I had to use an SUV, mid-size SUV body though, that's what it decided. I'm surprised though this is 1700 kilos. I wouldn't expect it to be this heavy even with the extra seats. Now we do need to have some tail lights. I can definitely try these to make it like a wheel thing. I don't know if this is going to work, to be honest. Actually, if we try that, maybe... No, I've got an idea anyway how to get this to work. I don't want to just... I don't want to cheese it and like I did before. These look quite nice. They're still round, but I think they look different enough to be interesting. Ooh, I see an idea. I do see an idea. Now, how could I go about wheelifying this, I wonder? Well, we all know the wheel is kind of rigged, so we can go, try and just have less. Like, the red represents the number 1. The red represents a number 1 in this car. So if we can go, maybe make that green. We are going to go with top 5 currency. Yeah. Wait, have I got I've got a surprising amount. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't bring Sakura up. I feel like Sakura is secretly rich. Yeah. I mean, I've got a wheel reference at the front as well, I have to say. If I could get a real, like, door handle. that's the glorious kind of craziness I like. Okay, so we've got these. I need to find some trim. A fuel cap. Just put the fuel cap somewhere weird. This fuel cap just looks totally out of place, so... Ah, yes, I actually kind of like that. I mean, it's ended up there by accident, but... Let's just have the fuel cap, like, in a completely random place here. I think some race cars have it, like, around here. In some kind of sense, but they are, like, completely stripped down and everything. This would just be massively inconvenient because the fuel tank is most likely in the back of the car. So you would have to randomly, like, feed the fuel down to get to the back of the car. Sakura, are you witch? Not telling. Most certainly. Yeah, it's like my image, actually. You have 8-Ball and he's got all that money and he's like, 8-Ball, are you witch? Ask again later. Even though he's obviously got the trench coat literally full of gold. Yeah, so we're gonna need to find something to reference the wheel. But I don't know what exactly. I mean, I could maybe get a bumper and, like, try and work this in. I think if I do this correctly, maybe, yeah. I can kind of get this working, I think. It's technically like a bumper. But I can make this work for, like, in terms of just trim. So if we go 2 or 4, no, that's not going to fix it. Come on. Do, do, do. There we go. So the wheel is wigged. This is like representative of the number 1, by the way. It's this is actually representative of the number 1 on the wheel. It's the number 1 is the red part, so it's actually just it's by complete chance landed on red and not white. Yeah, wheel is a brand with odd cars indeed. I mean, there's no logic to what kind of cars they make, which I guess is making sense because it's a wheel. The back looks kind of plain. I feel like I could do something with it. I mean, I thought of putting like a needle onto the fuel cap like a wheel, but I need to get the badge. So we've got where's the letters? Just my classic way of cheesing a wheel badge onto a car. Then we can actually copy this and go around the front, I think. Scoot it around like so. There we go. So we need another letter. We need the V. Should be a V here. I think we can rotate it 90, yeah, like that. That's the easiest way. And I mean, if I go and if I make that longer, it keeps snapping to the middle, and I don't know if there's a way. You know what? I don't despise it just being like there, actually. It looks like some kind of angry face, or shocked angry face. I mean, I am going to compare these. As I say, if I need to go get me food at a moment too early, then I will just return later to finish off the testing and stuff. Because I will do that today. There's a lot I can do now. Now I've got 2 cars to actively compare from these builds. I still need a name. I think I might have an idea. Mystery mix, because you never know what's in it. It's a very mystery car. Many of the decisions are a mystery. Like, they never know why you would make these decisions. They just don't make any sense. Yeah, so let's call it Mystery Mix. Or actually Mystery Mix Sport, because there, it's called Mystery Mix Sport. Yeah. It looks kind of like shocked. To be fair, it is a shockingly bad design. I mean, there's some door handles though that I think match this kind of time period that I'm going with, and they also look like wheels. Yes, these are perfect, I think. Yeah, they're perfect. Look at those door handles. I mean, they're not the prettiest ones I've ever seen, but they're very wheel, and I think they need to flip the other way. Those are the most real door handles I've ever seen. So we can probably rotate these a little. I think this is because this car is an 8-seater. It's probably where all the wheels go to party. It's the wheel party wagon. I could actually call it the wheel party wagon. Yeah, drive it with confidence. I wouldn't. I'd be scared of crashing it, to be honest. It has come to me. I'm now calling this the Mystery Party Wagon. It's technically an SUV and not a wagon, but I can't refuse such a brilliant name. I mean, that is slightly off. I think if I set this to 0, it will, there we go. Sometimes the door handles get messed up when moving it into automation, but not automation, beam. I think it'll work. I don't think this has gone as bad as it could have. So we're like 2 hours 5 minutes in, and I blame the engine because that engine was an absolute pain to get right, and I've still not got it perfectly tuned because I don't think you can. As hard as I try, I don't think it's possible to get this thing perfectly tuned. I would love to have like a multiplayer server though. That would be pretty funny with this. It also does 6.7 miles per gallon. This thing is going to drink fuel. It's going to drink fuel like no tomorrow. Okay, why is it... Oh, because I'm adjusting the wrong number. This does not go that fast in a straight line, but I do feel it can really outpace the other one with... I feel it can really outpace the other one. Now, as per its command, I need 8 gears, even if it can't really effectively use them. The one advantage to this, it's not got crazy power, so it'll probably make more use of the gears. Unlike a car with loads of power, where this would just be too many gears. I don't know. I think, did it say 6.7 to 60 or something, and I missed it. I know it can do 7.1. I'm not so sure how fast I'm going to get the thing. Can do that. .9. I could probably make it go 7.6 seconds, but that would be slowing it down. I think 7.1 is okay. Given what this car is, it could be a lot worse. At least it's making the speed of an older Ford Focus ST, for example, from the 2000s. And I mean, I'll have to take that as a win. It's not great, but things could be a lot worse. That should be a slogan, actually. That should be the slogan for all-wheel cars. It's not great, but it could be a lot worse. It suits it, I think. Wheel car company. It's not great, but things could be a lot worse. I think if I lower that speed... .1. Do I want that to be, like, tighter ratioed, maybe? I mean, I can try keeping making these figures, like, tighter, but I'm not sure it's going to help. I think, personally, if I, like... I kind of want the spreads to be closer later on. And if I can get the same acceleration that way. Because this will like prioritize higher speed acceleration. And there's not going to be a lack of lower speed acceleration with how this is configured. 8.1. No, I don't want it to be that slow. I'm wasting time on something that really does not need correcting. that should do. So, I think we've done the downforce properly, yeah. So we have got, what was the top speed again? I missed that, 134.5, yeah, that's not quick. It's not the slowest thing I've ever built, but it's not quick, and I think that's the power to blame, or the lack thereof. So we're going to go, I think we're going to go with sport here. I could probably actually make the tyres smaller, to be quite honest, because it's just not making power, so 245s are actually kind of excessive. And could try 40. I mean, it's kind of sporty, so I don't see why I shouldn't make that track a little wider, because it would really help performance, but I don't know. What's going on here? It's messing with all my trim. There, that wasn't so hard, was it now? What's it doing? Like, it's not even complaining about things that actually make sense to complain about. Like, I don't even have to move this stuff much. I just have to touch it, and then it's like, oh, actually, I don't care. It's working just fine. This is just weird. Like, I say, I'm not even having to move it. So we have, I think I can get this driving today, and then I will return a little later today to get this working. Oh no, not the oatmeal raisin cookie mobile. The brakes are incredible. Like, look at this. It's not actually messed with me for the brakes. It's just simply given me good brakes, and I can appreciate that. And also the front lip needs correcting. 7.3. Okay, that I've made the acceleration even worse. I think 205s might be good enough. The front brake force is low. Front dampers are hard. The engine has some unutilized octane. Consider using higher compression. I thought that compression was more than high enough. If it says that, though, maybe I should give it a go. Oh, yes, there is unutilized octane. I managed to get 0.1 of a horsepower. So that's advice I can actually appreciate. That's the front, I mean. Oh, wait. It kind of does look like that. I don't see the cookie, but yeah. It does actually, it looks like that. I can't unsee it now. So we've got 7.4. I mean, I don't want the tyres to be too small. I do want this thing to grip, but it's like, it doesn't make so much insane levels of power, so there is that. I mean, if I tighten that up, yeah, that's fixed it a little. It's got slower. It was doing 7.1, now it's doing 7.3, or 7.2 I guess now. I think I can get the speed back, it's just, like, what's going on with this? Okay. I'm going to have to accept 7.2 unless it can do something better for me. All this time adjusting the gearing, and then it was never good enough for the final car. So does it like wider tyres? Do they help at all? Because I feel like maybe it only needs 215. It's on good tyre compound. It's actually giving me radials this time. Okay. I will have this, I'll say goodbye for now. I will have this recorded, hopefully, unless I messed it up again. And I will have the we play back. So that should be a good thing, I guess. More editing, yay! .3. If I go wider, does it actually help? Um, 7.2. Actually, maybe it loves wider tyres. Have to have a look at that. Well, it doesn't hate them. It still gets the power down, regardless. Yes, I've got my speed back. Okay, wider tyres are the game. We're winning. .2. 7.2 is, I had 7.1. Where has it gone? Where's 7.1 seconds gone? I had that. .76, I can make these number longer and it seems to still be functioning. That will do. Come on. First gear, do I want it to shift up earlier? Probably. I think that'll do nicely. This is taking too long. And I really do want to get this car out there driving. I think that works. Nice chunky tyres for grip. There we go. So we've got the mystery party wagon. The front brake force is low. The front dampers are hard. I can adjust that. The rear dampers are hard. Unutilized fuel octane, and you're still telling me that. Come on. This will have to do, I guess. And it's slowed down. There. 7.1. So we've got our cassette player, naturally. Front brake force is low, the brakes are suffering brake fade. I can improve that, that's no issue. And now the rear brake force is very high. I'll see what I can get from this. So 41.6. See if it goes up. 39.1. So 39.1, it only goes up to a point, I think. 39 points. Slightly sportier brakes will help. But I can only push it up to a certain amount. 39.8. 39.5. 0.4. 0.3. 0.1. It's 67, of course. It would be that number. Then we'll go 39.4. Okay, so it's 39.1, I think it's going to be the target point. As long as I can make these smaller. 0.2. Maybe if I go a little more pad type. No. And then we go 39.2. $39.1. Okay, so finally drawing up that performance I've been desiring. The rear brake force is high, but I need it to be. So, this is overall not too bad. I could have done a much worse job, or the wheel could have done a much worse job, although it doesn't make power. That's one issue, I guess you could say. So, I think that might be all we need. I'll try and adjust the anti-roll bars. And yeah, it's still accelerating. I'll try and adjust the anti-roll bars, and then we should be ready to go. Where is the anti-roll bars? I can't even find the suspension. There it is. Sway bars, that's it. So I'll try and get whatever's like best for sportiness and everything and drivability in general. I can probably spend a little time tuning this, but not a lot. Now, if this needs it to be softer, I will make it softer. Yeah, it's helping comfort, it's helping sportiness. It's not helping drivability per se, but I think that's okay. I mean, this may play out, though, because it's got leaf springs on the back, and I don't think leaf springs have to be as stiff as other technology types to work. So if we go stiffer there... I mean, it's helping drivability and it's helping sportiness. I think I'll go at that point where drivability and sportiness seem to be pretty happy together, which is 1800. I mean, we're talking entirely different technology here, though, so... I mean, I don't know. Like, it doesn't like having stiff front anti-roll. I mean, that should do. I don't want to have, like, loads of camber on the front. That's probably not going to help acceleration, to be honest. It still doesn't change it, to be honest. So we've got this. Again. It's going to reduce sportiness a little to have that softer, but I think we'll be good. So, I mean, we could stiffen that up if it likes it enough. Yeah, it seems to like stiffer dampers. Interesting. I don't think I want to make them too stiff, but no less. No less. It should work. Like, I don't mind making the rear stiffer, though. If it works, it works. So we've got very stiff back end of the car. Yeah, let's go 4.6. I will make these softer dampers if they have to be. I mean, it's entirely different technology, so that must be remained. It seems to really like the stiffer dampers. At least for sportiness. I mean, I don't know what's going on exactly with how it's thinking, but firm dampers appear to really help how this is going. So we've got 15.12. I mean, I think it's losing a lot of drivability, though, by having these stiffened even more. So we've got 14.8. with extremely stiff leaf springs, I have no idea how this is going to handle. I think 4.2 on the way. And then I could maybe make the anti-wall softer. Maybe, if this works. Nope, it doesn't work. Like, I just don't know where it's supposed to fall. It's such a weird build. And I can't really tune a good build. So very sporty, that's for sure. I think this will have to do. It's kind of tall off the ground because it's an SUV. But let's see how this goes, because I think it's going to drive very well, and I think I've got it just about finished. Is it still doing 7.1? I obsessively have to make sure. Yes. That's as fast as it's going to get. So we will export this and see how it runs. High resolution textures. I don't think we need to collapse that. I think this is good. It's taking its time. Then I will be going into BeamNG and seeing how well this thing runs. Okay, confirm. I will move to BeamNG now. When I'm in, I can disable the music, so it will be able to hear the car and stuff better. Now, where is it? BeamNG. I was gonna think it would just be like update the game. I already did that, so that's not an issue. We'll get to see what craziness has ensued. Let's hope the wheel just works for me. There we go. We're on the launch menu. Why isn't it on full screen? Now it's on full screen. Okay, before it was opening in the wrong display. Now it's doing that correctly. So we've got the Italian quarry. I'll take it round. Probably do some testing of them both a little later today. And yes, there's a school bus, which is not what I'm going to use. May take a little time to load in, but it will eventually. This is the new area which released, I believe, in the last week. So it should be fun to throw it around, and especially if there's like a time trial that takes place here. Could be a fun place to test the two cars. But I do just want to see how this thing drives, because it's a crazy vehicle, but specificationally it's not actually that insane. It's just under 200 horsepower, so it's not like we're asking it to put down crazy power. And the general differentials and the tyres and stuff are actually pretty well aligned to what this car is supposed to be, which it seems a sleeper. Granted, you're only going to be so much of a sleeper with this engine, which makes under 200 horsepower. Again, as I say, this theoretically, I think, has what it takes to handle better than the other car. So if it's somewhere here. Many of my other vehicles. Has it exported it? It should be like a big blue blob of a thing. I'm gonna try typing it in. There it is. Real Mystery Party Wagon. It's here, but it didn't load in. Apparently, DSE, whatever that is, drive selector. It apparently doesn't even have ABS. I don't think that's going to be an issue. There is the inside, which doesn't exist. So I think we should be able to go manual with the paddle shifters. Yeah. Let's stop the music then. So, how noisy is this? Just to check for the balancing. I'm gonna have to quieten it. That is very loud. Maybe go a little louder. There we go. So this should work. I don't know how it's volumed up. I can change that a bit later if I have to. It doesn't feel it grips all that well on this dirt. It does kind of grip, but it doesn't grip the best. Come on. Oh, the understeer. Mind you, it's not as bad over bumps. Given how stiff this is, it's not as bad over the bumps as I would have expected. I'm going to try and take this to wherever the tarmac roads are on the Italy map, because I really do want to test it there. I have to turn it down on my headphones, actually. It's kind of loud. Oh dear, don't fall off the cliff. Don't fall off the cliff. Okay, held on. I mean, it seems very predictable. Seems very predictable. There we go. Kind of stiff, but I think it's stiff, but it's got the suspension travel, so it falls into this awkward middle ground of, like, not being perfect. Let's just jump it, because... Oof. Half shaft broken, okay. That's a way to break your car. It was a very underwhelming crash, though. So I'm going to stick it in the auto mode. I've got to find a tarmac road. There's got to be one somewhere. Like you can see, it's off-road, it's okay, but it's clearly not at its best. You know what, I'm just going to fly, because I feel like I'm just going to loop around the quarry at this rate. Ah, here's a town, here is a road. So, I believe I recognise this. We've got, yeah, I'm going to use paddle shift, because it's like, there's 8 gears, supposedly. I do not have 8 gears. Yeah, it handles really nicely here, actually. Really nicely. And this is on leaf springs. I was not expecting it to handle so good. It feels like you're going quicker than it is, to be honest. Like, I'm going 86. It felt like, from the sound and everything, I was going 150. Oh, dear. It's very responsive. Like, this does not understeer as well for a front-wheel drive. For a fairly fast front-wheel drive. But as I say, it feels quicker than it is. Gotta turn that down on the headphones. Come on. Oh dear, oh dear. The lack of ABS there. If it had ABS, I could have probably made that corner. And admittedly, it was me being kind of reckless, but that's why you like ABS. Go into the manual mode. There we are. I mean, I don't know how it's looking on the... It doesn't look great on the OBS, but I shouldn't be looking there. It looks smooth on my PC here. That's all I can really say. Anyway. I can let the lights on, maybe. Does it show the light? I think it might be the N key. Yeah, it is. Oh, dear. I need to pay attention to where I'm going. And not just turning on or off the headlights. I would say this handles very well on the tarmac. The other one was fairly good as an off-roader. Like, it's not as bad as you would think. It certainly sounds good. It's just clearly not got the crazy level of outright speed. But I would argue, in a way, it kind of makes up for the lack of speed over the other car. Just for having... what do you call it? It kind of makes up for the lack of speed by having such good cornering. And the other thing I can argue, it's still, for the time, this would have been pretty quick. Like, you would have usually done this with a V6, not a V12, but it's not like that far off the specs of an actual kind of performance front-wheel drive of the time. I know the Ford Focus RS of the early 2000s made about 210-ish horsepower. Maybe 220. It made more than this, so as I say, you're not throwing like an inconceivable amount of power through the front wheels for the time this is like supposed to reference. I mean, I do like it. So yeah, I will return a little later, probably to do some track testing and stuff of this, but for the time being, I think it's built a decent car once again. Granted, this engine was an absolute nightmare to tune. I'll say that much. I'll be the first to say the engine was a kind of nightmare to build. But it's functioning. And it's functioning as well as I think I could have got a real car to drive. Like, I just don't imagine them driving typically this well. And because the brakes, even without ABS, because the brakes are like such a good type of brakes, they don't tend to lock up too badly. Like, I know this doesn't have ABS, but the brakes do not seem to be, like, at the issue where they would lock up. Almost like how you could take a car in the 1960s. If it was a very good built race car, there's a good chance they would have balanced the brakes so they wouldn't lock up, even without ABS being a thing. It takes these, as I say, it's stiff, but it doesn't take these bumps as badly as you would think. It's just a little, what would you say, uncomfortable? Yeah, so I'd love to just see how this goes when I get the time to actually drive it and see how quick it is. But just as an initial drive, I'd say I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. It looks like the suspension is sagging on the back, but you can only ask so much. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here for today, and I will say goodbye until